Hello you guys and happy July. If you know where the first half of the year went, let me know because I literally don't understand how we're in July already. So in this video I'm going to be talking about the books that I read in June 2022. This is probably going to be a short, sharp video because I actually only read 3, 2 of which were audiobooks. I feel like I'm in a bit of a reading slump at the moment, and I think this actually happened last June as well. I'm pretty sure I basically didn't read anything the whole of June. I am behind on ones that I need to review for like my YouTube and ones that I need to read for work, and then obviously need to read for leisure as well. Not the greatest position to be in, but there we go. I started off the month in such a good place with reading because I read Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl by Joya Goffney. Joya is one of our authors, so this is a book from the Hotkey imprint at Bonnie Books UK, which is where I work, and my truthful, unbiased opinion is that it's 5 out of 5. Like, I genuinely love this book. It was my book to a T. I read Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry, which is Joya's first book with us, and then this is her second. They're not related or anything, it's not like a sequel. And I liked Confessions so much more. It's kind of like a rom-com book, I guess, but there's so much more to it. It's a lot to do with like sexual health. So it's incredibly body positive, it's incredibly sex positive, and it's just something that I wish everyone had or has when they're growing up, like in that kind of teenage stage. The book starts with the main character Monique explaining how she has tried 29 times with her long-lasting boyfriend, and every time has been a fail. Their relationship kind of hits the rocks because of this. So on that 29th time, she kind of realises something isn't right here. But then she makes 2 really unlikely friends. It kind of blossoms from there. There's kind of like an enemies to lovers, but not really enemies. There's like enemies to friends. It's like a really wholesome coming of age book. I don't know, I just really liked the amount, it's gonna sound really weird, but I really liked the amount of sex that was in it. Like, it's not like graphic, it's not smart or anything like that, but it's kind of exploring that taboo of health and sexual health, because Monique's parents in the story are really like, want her to be a virgin basically, and her dad is I think it was like the priest or the pastor at the church or something like that. And so it's kind of like Monique exploring this quite secretively, and this is where she meets these 2 unlikely friends. And I was just kind of excited to see where it went, to be honest. I really enjoyed, like, from start to finish. I thought it gave me butterflies throughout. It was just really wholesome, really sex positive, without being too like biased one way or lenient the next. So there is heavy discussion of vaginismus in there, so you can expect things like sex, religion and the church, because I said Monique's dad, but essentially it's a story of family and friends as well. So I listened to that as an audiobook, and then the second book that I read or listened to in June 2022 was an audiobook as well. This was something so not unlike me, but just something I wouldn't normally choose, because we publish it on the Bonnie Books, one of the Bonnie Books imprints in the adult side. So it's Lily Allen's autobiography called My Thoughts Exactly. Again, not something I would usually pick up, not because it's an autobiography, but because of the artist. So I love Lily Allen's songs growing up, and I still like her music now, but I've never been inclined to kind of hear her story, or I didn't really know about her, didn't see her on many interviews, that sort of thing. So I was like, I guess quite pleasantly surprised when I read it. It's really heavily based on fame and spotlighting when you're a celebrity, especially in the music industry, which I found obviously quite enlightening. I think that a lot of people obviously know the pressure that people go under, like paparazzi and the media and that kind of thing, but for someone that obviously doesn't go through that every day, or at all, it was quite, I don't know, like quite enlightening to see how that is another person's life. I really liked how Lily opened the audiobook as well. She narrates it herself as the audiobook and wrote it herself obviously, but she opens it by basically saying, I'm not perfect and these are all my imperfections, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I feel like that gave it quite that authentic voice. It gave her, it kind of made me trust her a bit. Like in the beginning, I kind of knew that she was going to say some of the mistakes that she'd done in this book. It wasn't just another autobiography of basically someone saying like, I'm perfect and this is why I'm so successful. Yeah, in my review online, I basically said what ruminated with me most was the discussion of fame, how the press manipulates stories, and how much celebrities have to deal with so much when they're in the music industry. And then the final book that I read a physical book. It's Lucie is Not a Romantic. So this is actually the proof copy. So the final copy looks like that because it's kind of got this blue cover, but this is the proof. So there's a quote from Jodie Picoult on the front and Beth O'Leary on the back, so I kind of knew this was already going to be good because they've got some really great author quotes on there. Lucie is not a romantic. As you can guess, she does become romantic in this. She falls for 2 guys. What's this story about? I love the concept of this book. I thought it was really unique. It's essentially like this dating app, but for people that don't want to date, they just want to co-parent. Lucie, the main character, she joins on there and she matches with someone. There's no kind of like strings attached. They're not supposed to be in a romantic relationship. It's just basically sperm, egg, here we are, we're going to co-parent, we're going to raise the child together. Obviously, have your own thoughts on how that would work, but I thought it was portrayed really well. Yeah, it's nothing like I've read before or anything. I thought it was really unique, and I actually really liked the kind of real aspect of it when there was bumps along the way with the pregnancy, agreeing on how they would parent. I really liked how you saw their discussion of, no, I think this and it should be done this way, and no, I think it should be done my way. So it's really interesting like to hear those kind of parent conversations even before the child's even born. As I said, the character falls for two people, and I kept changing my mind who I was rooting for. I don't know if that was intentional from the author to kind of make you go back and forth. Essentially it was a romance book, which is my favourite genre, but if you're not a romance reader but you're thinking of like dipping in, or you just need to try it, whatever, I would strongly suggest this and recommend this, because it's not like heavy romantic. It's not, even though the title itself literally has romantic in it, I wouldn't say it's super like, you know, butterflies and loads of sex and that kind of thing. It's not like that at all. I think it has a lot more depth to that, heavily focused on obviously families and different cultures. I really like that this book kind of had that underrepresented culture in there. I felt it gave it a lot more depth, and yeah, I guess that's it. So on my review online I said you can expect family dynamics, co-parenting, dating, pregnancy, careers, culture differences, and grief. I gave this sort of a 4.5 out of 5. I'm not sure, maybe like it could easily be a 5 for me as well. But yeah, enjoyed that. They're all the books that I read. So that's it from me in June. I'm currently reading The Startup Wife. I'm literally 18 pages in, so I can't really comment much on this. This is about an invention, I believe, an app, and then someone else takes the credit for it. So I'll let you know how I find that in my next wrap up. That was it for June. Let me know if you've read any of these or you like the sound of them, and hopefully see you in my next one. Thanks, bye.